Hey everyone, it's Barb Teckle. It is the week of October 26th. And can you see I am wearing this sweater that totally called out to me to wear today. And I feel like I want to wear it all week. I feel I want to wear it for the rest of the year, maybe for the rest of my life. I love this sweater to begin with. But I definitely think we all need to embrace love, especially this week. I know it's an intense one. If you're listening here and you're from the United States, where I am from, it is an intense week. So I'm not going to sugarcoat that because I'm definitely feeling it too. I am an empath, and I'm sure many of you who listen to me are an empath as well. So I'm sure you are feeling a lot of this as well. Um, so, how can we stay centered and grounded? And I wasn't even really sure what question to even work with today. So I went into meditation, and what came to me was I'm going to just pull a card to see what that message is. But first of all, I loved the synchronicity of this, and I think you'll appreciate it too. When I came out to my Joyful Paws cottage today, where I do my writing, I do artwork, I do these readings for you. I noticed on my altar behind me, I have different animals and stones and plants and some oracle card decks. That's where I sit and pull my cards in the morning before for myself and before I do the readings for you. So when I came out here today, the first thing I noticed is I have this little glass, beautiful green glass butterfly that my mom gave me for my birthday one year. I'm not even sure what the stone is. I should find out what that is. But anyways, she was laying on her side. She had fallen over and was laying on her side. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, she needs a little help. So I turned her upright and set her back on my altar. And the thought ran through my mind of how, with this week being so intense, how each of us probably needs some help from someone to help inspire us and to help us keep going, and how we all have to be there for each other and help out when we can, right? So, interestingly enough, synchronistically enough, I pulled a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle, just asking, what is it we need to know this week? What do we need to focus on? And the card is a leg up. And that's exactly what this card is about. It's about being there for each other and helping each other. I just want to grab my notes here from the notes that I took. And this card is all about receiving help. It's also about delegating authority. And for me, thinking about the meaning of this card as being delegating authority, to me, I heard in my head, this is about authority over our own lives. There is so much information out there right now, and we can go down the rabbit hole of no matter what information you're looking at. But this is about coming back again to the authority of our own lives and what we know in our hearts to be true and living from that space. And this is also about interdependence. So it's about teamwork, but also, independence of our own lives and then making that work together. So that is the message for the week for all of us. And I think, Butterfly just helped in regards to that as well. And the other thing I thought of when I saw Butterfly laying on her side today was, Butterfly is all about transformation. And as we go through this very intense week before the elections next week, we are in a time of transforming. That's what this is all about, truly the bigger perspective. And there are times where it feels so heavy and it feels like we cannot go on. But the reality is we can go on. We can get to the other side and we can all fly again. And that's going to take reaching out to those that we know can help us, as well as helping ourselves as well and tuning into what feels right and resonates in our own hearts. So that is the overall message for the week. And then I pulled 3 animal cards again because I love to bring in the wisdom from the animals to help guide us. And as always, you get to choose which card speaks to you. This is the deck that I used today. These cards are all from the Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides by Dr. Stephen Farmer. So you can pick card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3. So if you pick card number 1, the card is Shark. And the message is on trust your instincts to discern the truth of the situation. And, when I think about everything that we have been going through, this has really been one of the biggest messages. And I'm sure I've said this in all my videos of late, of all my oracle readings, is we have to get back to discernment. We have to rely on what we're feeling in our hearts, which means we have to go through everything that we're feeling. And I think for so long, it's been just so easy just to disassociate ourselves from things that don't feel comfortable. So, this is about trusting your own instincts and moving from that space as you navigate these waters right now, which are very rough. I also think about with shark. Of course, so many of us have fear of shark, and there's something to think about in regards to fear and looking at your fear. What are you fearing right now? What is that for you? And shark is calling you to face that fear. And so often we run from it instead of taking the time to look at why are we in fear and where is that coming from? And then and then when we look at water, it is about being with our emotions and our feelings. And so often, when we face our fears and we can be with those fears, we can come back to a more grounded and centered space. So that's the message for shark. I don't know why my nose is itching again, but it is. It seems like every time I come on to do these oracle readings, my nose just decides to go crazy with itching. All right, so if you pick card number 2, it is owl, or how it's said in Hawaiian owl is peo. And the message on the bottom says your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance now, so pay close attention to signs and omens from them. When I think about, well, first of all, when I think about owl, it's really about your wise inner self. And I really believe that if our ancestors are trying to help us through this time, just as the animals are as well. They're trying to assure us that everything's going to be okay. And when I think about my ancestors and I think about like my grandparents, especially my one grandma, when I think about her, I just think about simplicity and living a simple life. And especially right now, we had snow yesterday. I don't know if you can see snow outside my windows here. Um, but it was just so comforting for me to come back to, I was making soup yesterday, finding good books to read. Um, Went and got some apples with my husband yesterday. And it's just going back to these simple things. And that's what makes me think of when I think of our ancestors and how they're offering us guidance right now is to come back to simplicity, especially when things outside of us feel so out of control. We have to look at what can we be in control within our own lives, and that is about making choices. And it's about, for me, it's about staying hunkered in my home and feeling good about that. And what can I do at home? And there's lots, I can find something to do all the time at home. I can find projects, I can find art to work on, I can find a good book to read. So, again, if you picked card number 2, that is owl. And I just want to look at the other associations that Dr. Farmer, shares in regards to owl and shark. Actually, when I looked at the associated words he shares about shark and owl, the both of them are about protection. And to me, that means about protecting our own space, protecting um, our own emotions, and not, how do I say that? I know what I want to say. I'm just trying to find the words. Um, not getting caught up in the outs, because there's so many opinions out there right now. There's so much stuff going on. And this is about protecting our heart space. And how do we do that? How do each of us do that for ourselves? That's what we have to connect into. So, whatever that looks like for you. So, that's pretty short, and the owl's message as well. And then also, I loved the word associations with owl of silence and sacredness. This really is a sacred time also, and it is a call to continue to keep finding moments in our day, even if it's 5 minutes, just to be in silence with ourselves, so we can start to remember what it feels like to know our truth, because so many of us have fallen away from that. So that's what this is about as well. All right, so the last card, if you pick number 3, is Falcon. And it says on the, oh, let me show you the card. I'm just noticing all of these cards too. I'll share that in a moment. But Falcon is act on the opportunity that's before you and commit to it without I knew I was going to screw that up. I had to look up how to say this. Equivocation. There we go. Now I said it right. So Falcon is associated with focus, gracefulness, observation, vitality, fluidity, and they also have incredible mental speed. So a falcon will sit on a perch and they can see the smallest, tiniest bug from sitting way high on this perch. So if you picked falcon, this is about being an observance, being of an observance of how you perhaps are reacting to situations outside of your control. I mean, it's an opportunity to look at what's before you and think about what resonates for you and what doesn't, to really hone in on that, to really hone on, does that make sense to me or doesn't it make sense to me? So I hope that made sense to you if you picked card number 3 and the Falcon. So what I did notice as I looked at all 3 cards in a row is I noticed the same coloring on all of them, all the blues and greens. And as I've said before, blues and greens, those 2 colors together are my favorite colors because they are so soothing and they just bring me back to a more calm and relaxing state anytime I look at them. And in fact, those are the colors out here in Joyful Paws Cottage. They're also the colors in my living room because they just help calm me and help me come back to that space within myself that feels so good. So that is the message for the week. I am thinking about all of you. I send all of you so much love. And know that, we aren't alone. Reach out to those that can be there for you and can guide you and can listen to you and just hold space for you. But remember, we aren't alone. We definitely aren't alone. And whether you are reaching out to someone or you are, connecting with whatever source is for you, this is the week to really hone in on that. I have made the intention that I will be doing that as well. So whatever that takes for me to do, I will be doing that. And I believe in all of you. I believe in what's happening is for the greater good, and that we are going to come out the other side of this so much better, and that we're going to look back and we're going to think about what we're grateful and the blessings that came from it. So hang in there and know I'm thinking of you, and I wish all of you the best week. Take good care. Bye bye.